guys, I'm Flavio. In this video, we're going to talk about structuring. Structuring is neatly organizing all elements of a problem. A good structure has two main characteristics. First, it has little or no overlaps, meaning that issues can be examined and tweaked individually. Second, it covers all relevant issues to a problem. As you probably heard, this concept is known as MISI, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. The fact is, it's very rare for a structure to be truly messy, but we try our best. Businesses are messy, and so are their problems. Structuring well is often more than half of the solution of a problem. Therefore, as a business consultant, you're expected to have strong structuring skills. Thank you for answering my clarification questions. Could you give me a minute or two to structure my approach? Your goal is drafting a structure under 2 minutes. Why 2 minutes? Most interviewers will agree that 2 minutes is enough to craft a strong structure. Some will push even harder and say that 90 seconds is enough. There are three main formats of structures: quantitative, qualitative, and mixed. Let's start with quantitative. As a general recommendation, if a financial problem like profits declining or revenues declining have not yet been isolated to its financial origin, then you use a quantitative framework. So whenever you face a problem like a profitability decline, a revenue decline, or a cost increase, you have to apply a profitability framework to isolate the problem first. After having isolated the problem with a profitability tree, usually in open cases, you'll then be able to open a new structure to understand the root causes behind that phenomenon. For instance, what is causing a volume decrease in the product A? So I would like to open a new structure and explore customers, company, and competitors to understand why is this volume decreasing. So once you find out the financial origin, for instance, volume of product A is declining, the next logical step is actually to start a qualitative framework, in an open case, of course, to explore company, competitors, and clients. So our second format is the qualitative framework. If the problem has been already presented in isolation, you can apply the qualitative framework to explore root causes right after the briefing. Finally, there are some situations in which you're going to apply a mixed framework, qualitative and quantitative. This is typically used in market entry decisions, M&A, product launch, international expansion, capacity investment, or anything that the client has to decide between, for instance, option A and option B. In other words, we are talking about a decision rule case. Go or no go, invest, don't invest, do A or do B. In the mixed format, first run a qualitative assessment, talking about competitors, market, the company itself, and seeing if the business story makes sense. Even if this analysis is more qualitative, it includes some numbers like the market size or the market growth rate. Then next, you apply a quantitative branch to see if doing the calculations and projections, the investment or the decision makes sense. If you have two options, you probably want to project two different scenarios and see which one is more profitable. Okay, so you chose a structured format, you ask for time, and then you produce the framework to analyze the situation. When presenting your structure, follow these steps. 1. Rephrase your key question and then announce your plan of attack. What are you going to do next? For instance, I'll first isolate the problem and then find ways to fix it. 2. List the number of factors of the first level of your tree and repeat them. For instance, I broke down the issue into two elements, A and B. This helps your interviewer easily follow you, and it also shows that you're an organized person who thinks before you speak. 3. Start drilling down the top branch of your tree, explaining each level until the bottom. For instance, in A, I would like to look into 3 factors, X, Y, and Z. Under X, I'm looking for 2 main things, G and H. Special advice. Even when you use a generic tree like profitability, don't be generic in your explanation. Be specific about the industry of the client. For instance, I believe a meat factory has 3 main fixed costs. 1. Plant and equipment depreciation, for instance, to keep the meat refrigerated, to cut the meat and pack it. Two, management, to actually make decisions of how much to produce and where to sell. Three, marketing, to advertise the meat products and create demand for them in the supermarket. The last level of your tree, for instance, the third or fourth level, can be explained verbally. Don't spend too much time writing down a tree that goes too deep into detail. You'll not have the time. Now let's show an example of a structure explanation.
Alright, I'm ready to explain my structure. In order to explore Fantastic Kingdom's drop in market share, I'm looking at two main elements. First, market changes, and second, customer and offerings. Under market changes, which is more of a global approach, I'm exploring two elements as well: competitive rivalry and new entrants. My hypotheses here are that theme parks might be consolidating, and this might be giving them a superior competitive position. Or there might have been new theme parks opening in the market, and those are stealing market share from the client. Under customer and offerings, I'm looking at a more micro approach, and I would like to see three elements a little better. First, customer buying criteria and channel preferences. Second, competitor offerings and their performance in those customer buying criteria. And third, our company's offerings and performance. Customers might be looking for attractions, price, food and beverages, location or convenience, and also offline and online sales channel to buy tickets. Maybe they are looking for a different experience today, with more shows or better restaurants, for instance. And maybe our competitors are offering attractions that are in line with the new trends, and we are not. Also, our prices might be out of line with the market, and this is causing our market share to drop. Would you like to explore anything in particular?